Akademiks can't ride no wave.
But I will say this. The feds don't play like that. The feds are a different beast. And usually they, especially if there's crimes of high importance that's there, they'll even play dirty their damn self. So the feds are trying to overcook Durk. Like, they're trying to give him a situation where at best a life in prison sentence would be good for him. Now, they're not going to seek death, but they're kind of showing him it's impossible for you to beat us, because you're probably going to have to beat us on multiple situations. Now, let me give you really the background about this. I've spoken to many journalists, and this is where this is why y'all come to me, right? Durk and Keith, because of what they started with the drill movement, you have to realize, just throughout these inner cities or whatever, they realize what spurs violence and how it plays out. They're not dumb. I know people like to think the police don't have internet, but they're not dumb. They wanted to get both guys early. We're talking about 2014, 2015. If anybody remember me covering the war in Chirac, we've seen a lot of people go down D-Rose. We've seen Rondo number 9. Subsequently, we even seen like some of the ops, like their ops. Lil J and there's a lot of people who've gotten incarcerated. They've always wanted to get Durk and Keith. The problem is Durk and Keith never pulled the trigger in the cases they're investigating. Not saying they never pulled a trigger in their life, because I do think they're real ass niggas. But I don't know what happened with Keith. Keith realized that this was just not a good situation. He dipped out. Obviously, his own gang turned on him, so he went to California. Pretty much, he hasn't disavowed or dropped the flag. Not that that's how they do it when it comes to BDs, but he's been out the way. Durk has been a big target just sitting there. And his career benefited from it. So around like 2013, 2014 more specifically, when the drill movement calmed down, Durk got dropped by Def Jam. When he got dropped by Def Jam, that was kind of a mark of, drill isn't that thing anymore, right? Now, Durk is very resourceful. He's a really good guy. Trust me, I've known him damn near, personal communications for definitely over 10 years. I covered him for damn near 15 at this point. But I'm saying this to say the police always wanted to get Durk. So let me give you some instances. Durk caught 3 gun charges in Chicago. People usually believe there's a 3-strike, rule where like, hey, it's the third one, you got to go. Durk did amass some fame and notoriety and money, and he avoided most of the punishments that would usually come with that. If you think about it, Durk, 3 gun cases, never did time. And don't you ever utter out of your mouth that he snitched or anything. No. He had good lawyers. He knew how to play the system. He had the money to wait it out, to do what he needed to do. They couldn't get him on that. There's a few other things. Some I won't mention because, from all the public, and salute to our Chicago scene 88. He usually does a good job of getting stuff out. They haven't put Durk's name with it. Like, these days, the reason why people know King Von was associated with 7 murders is that police put out later that we couldn't really charge him or prove it, but he was our lead suspect for 7 murders. They kind of wanted Durk. Wanted him for a long time. Durk dipped to Atlanta. Bunch of shit happened there too. Anywhere Durk is gone, it's been like, I don't call it a dark cloud, but shit has happened. So Durk goes to Atlanta. Remember, Vaughn is popping now. They thought they had him when they shot the dude outside of that spot. They shot out the car and shot a guy. And the guy was down to tell. He was like, yo, these guys just trying to rob me, blah, 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 blah. Durk gets charged. Vaughn gets charged. Remember, this is how bad they wanted Durk. That at the detention hearing for Durk actually a preliminary hearing, to be honest, for Durk and Vaughn. A Chicago detective traveled from Chicago to Atlanta to testify because they know they couldn't get Durk in Chicago. So they're like, fuck it. Even if Atlanta gets him, fuck that guy. You got to imagine these investigators have egos. We all know what happened. It was it's a decent case. There was video footage. But I don't know how cooperative that guy would have been after a while. One thing I'll say, do your homework. Shout out to FYBJ, man. Do your homework on Vaughn. You know why Vaughn never got locked up or got convicted of any of them joints? The witnesses never witnessed shit when it came time to need to recount witnessing shit. They either died, came up missing, changed their story. That's kind of rare. But yeah. So that case in Atlanta with Durk and Vaughn, it had reasonable odds because that guy, I don't know if he was going to stick to his story. Anyway, that didn't need to happen. Vaughn died. And when Vaughn died, that case became a lot complicated. Now, I'm telling you what I've heard. They said, and you know, I'm going to tell you some things that you're going to have to take my word or don't believe it. It's fine. I don't care either or. When Fonnie Willis started targeting YSL, Fonnie Willis had a bunch of people to target. She wanted Thug. She got YFN. So she got YSL, YFN. Eventually, they were going to get to 4PF. That's one of the reasons they changed their names, by the way. But beyond that, some of the transplant Atlanta folks that were coming down there that was still acting like they were like that, they wanted to get them niggas too. Except, from what I heard, the feds told them it's okay. We got it. Because they were taking off, because Chicago's a shit show. Like, if they can't send you away for having a gun in your fucking waistband, like, they can't do nothing. So the feds told him, like, it's okay if you dismiss the charge. So they didn't go that hard with trying to get Durk, especially after Vaughn died. They dropped that case. They dropped it, but the feds has realized, yo, we gonna get Durk eventually. Doing the math? You see why Lil Baby is moving the way he been? Because Lil Baby hasn't been on Fed watch. He's been on county state watch. That's why he changed the name. They got YFN. They got whatever. They were looking at even Savage and everybody. I'm telling you these things. You're not going to hear it reported. Everybody switched up or changed whatever. People moved accordingly. The good thing, Fonnie Willis, she's a little bit neutered at this point. Thug got a astounding win. They look embarrassed. It's getting back to normal. But we get YFN, YSL, we get handled. Baby ducked out. Went to Paris with James Harden and started modeling. And when Durk was down there, that case, after Vaughn died, the Fed said, we're going to look at it. Okay? Now, remember when I talked about that first indictment that Durk got? Obviously, the murder of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pop. I said the feds were looking at him for multiple situations. The feds were looking at him and was trying to indict him for that thing with Vaughn. But when the feds hit you, they don't want to be like, oh, let's make the case. They want to hit you. It's okay, they chilled. So Vaughn now is dead. That's 2020 Vaughn died. Am I right? 2020? They're watching. They're waiting. Who was the first person to break the story that nobody knew where Durk lived at in Atlanta. But I got a tip. Pause. That niggas ran into his crib. Wasn't I the first person to tell y'all that? Right? Or people ran into the crib and he later then rapped. They ran into the crib, I threw the gun to India and shit. Good. You never seen that on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution website, which is a main, news source from Atlanta. That came from me. TMZ hit me up. I gave them the info I had. They corroborated it. But that was kind of quiet. What happened? Again, when shit is happening, you're not seeing local police make a stink about it. They're forwarding everything to the feds. Let's see what's going on. Let's build some case. Remember, Durk done violated the entire Chicago police force. Them niggas look stupid. And let me not say half, a bunch of people that they claim are murderers or whatever in Chicago, Durk is paying their bonds. They're paying their lawyers. So they really want to get Durk. So now we're at 2021, 2022. And then two situations happen. Well, Durk's brother died in, I believe, 2021 or the end of 2021, beginning 2022. But we swiftly hear that right after Durk's brother died, niggas got clapped. Instant. Like that. Never heard nothing more about it, but that's what you heard. Then we heard people try to kill Quando 3-4 times. But then in LA, we all know what happened. Lil Pop gets killed. I'm giving you this recap that I don't got to just play videos. We don't do that. Let's get straight up to the point. Okay. Durk this year gets charged for the murder, and specifically murder for hire, for the death of Lil Pop, which is Quando's cousin. But when I covered it, I told you, keep in mind all these things. The police want Durk bad. Chicago police wanted him. And if you guys don't know, when we say the feds have all this power, and it's really resources. They have just more resources. There isn't more federal agents than these local municipalities. And for example, there's hundreds of thousands of cops in New York City. There's not hundreds of thousands of feds in every place. No. So how, if they're lesser than some of these big cities, how do they work? What they do is they deputize these police officers. So a Chicago police detective or somehow, investigator could get deputized to have federal authority to do a federal investigation. Gives them way more reach beyond state lines, beyond their jurisdiction, gives them way more money to play with what they could do to get information. I'm breaking this down for a reason. So if they got Durk in LA for murder for hire, and I'm telling you, the feds said, oh, we gonna get that nigga. And the way the feds do is they deputize people within local municipalities or precincts. You don't think someone's gonna come out of Chicago? Everything that ever happened in Chicago, them deputized officers are saying, oh, you thought you got away, but you didn't. So, and let's get up to date. Durk got locked up in October 17th, actually, 10/17, ironically, for the murder and murder for hire charges for Lil Pop. He was locked up while trying to board a jet going to Italy. After being detained there for a long while, he was then extradited in November to California, where the charges originated because Lil Pop got murdered across the street from the Beverly Center, which is a huge popular mall in a tourist district. Durk has been sitting there. They didn't go for bail immediately. They basically said, hey, listen, we're, Durk's team is trying to play it safe, right? And by the way, he does have, I believe, Drew Fillin on that. He had a detention hearing today. And this is how you should know. This is why the feds are so powerful. The feds unsealed a search warrant yesterday, not today. So today's the hearing. They unsealed a search warrant yesterday to help overcook Durk in the fact that he will never get out. What I mean never? He'll never get out on bail. They could already say, oh, we think he planned this whole murder. And what was going to happen in a hearing is that the judge was going to be like, okay, it's circumstantial. I've said this about a Durk case. It's circumstantial. Tell us the snitch. Or, they could try to hide it at least first. Be like, no, we have someone who said that Durk offered them to go slide for Vaughn and go here and offer them this money. That's why he booked the jet and told them, blah, blah. Okay, that's a good, decent case. But the feds is not like Fulton County. They're going to overcook your ass. So what they did was not only present the details of the Lil Pop case, they then unsealed another case. Remember the case I told you? I said, I've never seen a case like this. It's all sealed. They unsealed a document from that case that points to Durk. That says Durk is the top guy who ordered this other murder. Okay? All right. So Durk's name is being mentioned as in the same role for another murder for hire case. He hasn't been officially charged. And if you see my tweets and you see me delete it, I had to be, we got to be very careful. He's not officially charged with murder for hire for this other case. But if you read it, it's like the feds believe he hired niggas to go kill people who killed his brother. Okay? I'm going to show you everything now. Okay? But thank you for joining in. So, give me a second. And I want to start out. And first thing I want to do is just show you this. So, if you're watching this and you haven't caught up today, you're like, what? Why Durk in jail? Please go back and watch other videos. I just don't want to keep doing, retroactive shit. So, this is the filing today, or yesterday actually. Well, today. That, when there's going to be a hearing, the judge likes for you to file some stuff. And then even if you hear they listen to you in person, the judge is going to read this, read what the other side said, then listen to your arguments based on what y'all, because he might have questions about these things. This is what the government said about this. So their whole stance is don't let Durk out of jail for Lil Pop's murder. This is what they said. So the plaintiff, which is the United States of America, through his counsel, is basically saying that, it files a brief, and let's get to it, right? So it says the murder case presented is a straightforward detention analysis. No condition or combination of condition could ensure that Durk appearance or protect the community or vital witnesses in this case. Because Durk cannot rebut the presumption of detention merely by offering a small portion. So they're basically saying he's mad rich, so he might try to offer mad money of his wealth in a bond package. He must be detained pending his murder trial, where he faces, and keep in mind, if Durk goes to trial, he faces a mandatory life sentence. This is murder for hire. Unless you cooperate, if you blow trial, you get life. That's it. Nothing else. Defendants offered millions of dollars to secure a pretrial release. So, by the way, if you want me to, and I will, actually, let me do it right now. So, Lil Durk has offered a bond package. That was their thing. You know what I mean? You got to do it. I think Durk realizes, or he has to realize, he's a street nigga, right? He's not Diddy. Like, Diddy's like, oh my God, like, where's my 20 chefs? Where's my masseuse? Where's my this? Where's my that? Where's my 50 baby mamas? Durk is a street nigga. When you get locked up on certain charges, and I do believe this, I think Durk is like, I know what it is. I'm going to just kick back in here, handle your business, just get me free. A street nigga ain't going to be like, oh my God, I can't stay in here. Oh my God, what, please let me out. You're a street nigga. You signed up for this shit. You know what comes with you getting arrested or indicted. However, your lawyer got to do his due diligence. Put together a little package that looks good. And let me see, because I do want to see what Durk offered. Let's see what Durk offered to get him free. Obviously he's not Diddy level, but let's see. What did Diddy... We know what Diddy. Hold on. Okay. Durk off. Okay, so Durk filed something. We're not gonna be able to pull it up. Sorry. Durk filed it under seal. So Durk filed his like proposal under seal. Don't know why. That's kind of odd. I'm not gonna lie. Oh no. Actually, wait. Give me a second. No, it's not Durk. I'm sorry. Oh, I want to make sure I'm being accurate here. Oh, sorry. No. It's additional stuff filed by the government. I apologize. I'll get that. Okay. All right. By the way, if you never watched a stream of mine, I get into every fucking detail. So please, like, if you're just looking for a summary, I could give you a summary real quick, get you out of here. But these are for the people who definitely want to know every single thing happening. And that's what we do, right? So check this out. I already pulled it up. So this is Durk's, and we're gonna read through it real quickly because we want to get to I gotta read this thing to y'all. Oh my God, we're gonna learn so much. Okay, here we go. I got this. All right, okay. So this is Durk's. Durk got Christy O'Connor on it. Okay, Durk, I see you, my boy. Of course, Drew Finland is his main attorney. Marissa Goldberg is gonna be underneath. Jonathan Brayman, who's a Chicago lawyer. Okay, so here we go. So they're offering. So essentially, Durk, devoted husband, father. Oh, look, husband. By the way, they're the blogs. I don't know if y'all want to quote me because I've seen some people say, "Hey, Durk might be married." For everybody who wants to confirm, Durk is married. So Durk married India secretly. If you guys don't know. Durk and India they're married, and you got to realize this is why he could say he's a devoted husband. It does read a little bit better if you don't know. So all the blogs y'all could run with that. The Durk married India before he got locked up. Confirm Durk is married. So Durk married India secretly. If you guys don't know, Durk and India they're married. And you got to realize this is why he could say he's a devoted husband. It does read a little bit better if you don't know. So all the blogs y'all could run with that. The Durk married India before he got locked up, or maybe through, I don't know how it got finalized. I could probably pull that marriage certificate somewhere, but he's married to India. He's a father. We all know that, and a son, obviously. And an internationally renowned musician and recording artist, and he should be granted pretrial release on reasonable conditions that include the following: a bond secured partially in full by a $2.3 million equity in 2 homes, Georgia, and a $1 million cash tendered by Sony Music. Okay. Yo, big shout out to Sony, man. I like when the record labels who have profited off the death music finally say we'll put some money up to get our death music artists out. And I got to shout out to Sony too, because when Bobby Shmurda called his RICO, they took and Bobby could have got bail. Sony said, because Sony owns Epic and Bobby was on Epic. Sony was like, what? Who? Okay. So Sony Music's down to put up $1 million, okay? So Durk is down to put up $2.3 million in equity in 2 homes, and it will be $1 million in cash by Sony, okay? He's down with home detention with electronic monitoring, around-the-clock security services ensuring compliance with all conditions, reporting to pretrial services, and additional third-party sureties and guarantors to satisfy a bond amount that the court determines. So basically, if the court says, no, we're not going to do it for, essentially this looks like $3.3 million, right? 2.3 in houses, and then $1 million in cash by his record label, which, by the way, I know some of y'all are going to make this like, yo, wait, why Durk's label? Durk has that money as well. Trust me, Durk he probably got $10 million in his account somewhere, or that he could liquidate to get money. You know what I mean? So don't think his record label's name being on this his record label's name being on this is to show that there's reputable, publicly traded companies that value him and actually enlist their trust in him to want him to come home. Again, the difference is when Bobby Shmurda and them went in, they didn't really make no money. To be very fair, at this point, you have Alamo, right? And I think did Alamo get sold to Sony? Alamo, Sony. Yeah, okay. Sony Music acquired Alamo. The only two artists at Alamo that keep the lights on for everybody, shout out to Tom Moskowitz, he's the owner of that. And by the way, Sony Music paid Universal $125 million for a stake in Alamo, okay? So it was actually between 188 and 225 supposedly, okay? So Alamo was acquired for like, let's just call it $200 million. Only two people that matter, Durk, Rod Wave, okay? Rod Wave's going on tour, doing great things. If Rod Wave got in trouble, I definitely hope not. I would imagine Sony through Alamo would do the same. Durk and Rod Wave keep the lights on over there. So you could imagine them saying, hey, listen, we'll put up $1 million, right? Bet. All right, cool. Now, here's the thing. The problem here is murder. Even with what I know, sexual assault, murder, these are heinous crimes. But with murder and violence to that extent, especially when you have other cases, even if they offered $20 million, it's murder. And I think every gangster in the street, if you're a gangster in the street, I don't care how rich you are, you should be down to sit for a murder case, because in murder, it's not about how much money you have. If it's fraud, it could be money. If it's assault, okay, you got money. If it's any other crime but murder, and especially you have to realize with this case, it carries a mandatory life. So $2.3 million obviously is not the $50 million that Diddy does, but still, it is what it is, okay? All right, and then they said the following is based upon the attached memorandum. Oh, you can't see it. Memorandum of points and authorities, and attached is Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2 under seal, the files and records in this case, and blah, blah. Okay. So Exhibit 1 ends up being, the proposed bond is trying to make sure, so they're going to try to explain why he's not a flight risk, okay? Remember, he's trying to board a private jet. By the way, here's the thing. Drew Finland is on this case. And Drew Finland, even though he wasn't on the Youngboy case when Youngboy got bail or got house arrest, Drew Finland is the guy who could create a package that you could get bail on. You know what I mean? Like Youngboy got, I'm going to be honest with you, Youngboy's house arrest package was, shout to that nigga, man. Yo, you'd have went to, if you ever went to Gravedigger Mountain, you'd have been like, if this is house arrest, I'm here for life. I'm here for life. I'm going to just sign up, okay? Looked amazing, okay? So, they're trying to create a package where this guy can stay in his mansion and fight a murder charge, but the government is slick. You're not going to fight a murder charge from your fucking mansion, my nigga. Matter of fact, we're going to say there's multiple murder charges. Matter of fact, to keep it real, it looks like you're overcooked. You shouldn't be out at all. Okay. So it says this murder case is so this is Durk's lawyers speaking, right? Again, we have a lot of paperwork to read through, so just bear with me. So, again, we went from this, hold on. We went from here to, oh, never mind. Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Okay. Did I I skipped some shit. Never mind. All right, never mind. So, this is what we know they're down to do. So, let's just kind of go down this real quick. This is Durk's, his case to say, let me out, right? By the way, I'm going to keep saying, Durk's the gangster. Durk's about that life. I get that you used to luxury, but you don't engage in these acts and do gangster shit if you're going to cry at sitting down for 6 months. Like, that doesn't make sense to me, right? If you're scared of doing 6 months while fighting your case, and who knows, you might get a favorable outcome, but if 6 months is going to break you to either tell or you're crying like a hoe, like, oh my God, please let me out, let me out. When it comes to murder, you're probably not getting out, okay? All right. Let's see their argument. They're like, Durk, he's a good husband, father, renowned musician. And look, see, this is what I'm saying, Chad. I do think he did know this was coming, especially in the last decade of his life. He's demonstrated a genuine resolve to publicly advocate for improving undeserved communities and stopping violence in those communities. Come on, man. Due to the strength of his character, they're leaning heavy on his character. All my life, I try to change. These days. You see how everything is playing into itself, playing into, like, position at this point? Individuals from Mr. Banks' professional and personal life have lined up to support him in this matter. He's been temporarily detained. Oh, never mind. He was arrested on the 24th. Oh, the other guys got indicted on the 17th. My bad. And it's scheduled for a detention hearing this afternoon at 2 p.m. So, by the way, the detention hearing is going on now. I'll save you he's not getting out. Okay. I'll get the update in a second, but he's not getting out. Including a documented track record of full compliance with conditions of pretrial release on a previous case in Fulton County, Georgia. So they're saying when they gave him pretrial release, he was a good gentleman. He didn't do nothing wrong. His friends, family, and colleagues are willing to act as sureties and guarantors on any bond. More than $2 million. Sony will tender $1 million. Mr. Banks has a history of gainful employment and residence in the Central District of California. The court should grant him pretrial release. Okay, they tell about his legal background. Under the Bail Reform Act, the court must release him. And they're talking about some other stuff. Okay, so they're listing the criteria, which is flight risk, danger to community, and possibly threatening witnesses. They say they charge him blah, blah, da, da, da. Okay, these are some, whatever. Anyway, for example, Judge Kevin Farmer previously remarked in granting Mr. Banks' expansion for his condition of release in his previous state matter. Banks is an artist and performs at concerts throughout the United States and overseas to earn his income. On that prior case, it was proved to the court that the prosecution and the community that he could comply with the conditions of pre-trial release and court orders due to his full compliance, blah, 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 which included originally GPS monitor, curfew, prohibition on contact with witnesses. The court gradually expanded everything that had to do with him. Okay. So this is not that much. So additionally, and let's just read the last thing. Because of his support with the community of faith, they are willing to stake so much on his bond. Several sureties and guarantors from both Mr. Banks' personal and professional life have agreed. That's why they're bringing Sony Music, professional, okay? To assist in satisfying any reasonable bond that this court might set. Notably, Sony Music, see, I told you, they're using that because of, it's not about the money. Durk got $25 million. If Durk don't got $25 million, that nigga's an idiot. That nigga's been getting money like in boatloads for the last 3 years since he's been super hot. Trust, okay? I don't care how much he's been tricking on chicks or, not tricking on, you got a wife, doing whatever. He should have $25 million in equity somewhere. Even if he got to sell every car, every jewelry, maybe owns like a housing project, and you got to have $25 million. Got to, okay? So when you see, and you might be like, 2.3, you're comparing this to Diddy, and you're like, well, Diddy did $50 million. No, these guys are not going to do the max they could do. They're going to just be like, yo, this is definitely a big amount. 2.3, big amount. 50 million, big amount. If they told Diddy $150 million, he's getting out of jail. 100%. So don't think when niggas is offering money that that's all they have, okay? If they told Diddy, we hear your $50 million thing, but we'll only let you out on $150 million. You would see Diddy out by tonight, okay? Niggas got money. So, money's not a thing, but you use it to kind of let them know you're down to put up a lot of things that you're almost willing to gamble if a sizable portion of your net worth or whatever you got going on, that the court could feel like, well, he'd only be an idiot to give all this up and try to run, right? Now, okay, Sony Music, an internationally respected corporation, has agreed to tender $1 million in cash. By the way, you want to hear the tea on this? And Bobby Shmurda, if you're watching this, somebody could clip and send it to him. So, two things with Bobby. And this is why Bobby fell out with a couple of people, including a guy who used to work for G-Unit. What's that guy's name again? Is it Sha Money? I think it might have been Sha Money. It wasn't, I think it was about $2 million to get the guy out on bail. It wasn't about the $2 million to get Bobby out on bail. Sony, which owns Epic, they wouldn't do it. That's one of the reasons when Bobby came home, he was never that cool with that label. Yo, y'all let me sit in jail for months and years and wouldn't even bail me out by just putting money down. Like, what the fuck? Right? We've seen in situations, Tupac, Suge Knight goes there and get... Here's why they didn't. And I'll also make this assumption. This is just my, if you want to call it expertise or expert, opinion. If Durk got a RICO, Sony wouldn't be next to this. A murder, it's a difference. A murder says you kill someone. The goddamn record labels aren't saints. A RICO says you have an organization of criminal activity. And a record label is a record label that usually houses a bunch of people who claim criminal activities. They don't want to be next to you with a RICO. So what Bobby got charged with was the definition of a state RICO, damn near. It was like this, criminal like organization shit for New York. So that's why they didn't put up the money for Bobby. Because D-Day in the music industry was when Murder, Inc. got charged with a racketeering charge. And when they got charged for that, essentially, what happened was that they raided the label to look for financial documents on how maybe they funneled money to criminal shit to deal with the case. That spooked everybody in the building to say, whoa, do we really know where the money for these labels are going? They're grossing billions of dollars. Trust me, a label pays for weed, cocaine, hookers, and I'm saying this is off the cuff, tongue in cheek. They pay for a lot of shit. I don't know if y'all knew this, but that's a fact. Your label gets you whatever the fuck you want to make the music. So anytime there's a RICO that come out, they step away like, they rather you catch a murder than a RICO. 6ix9ine called a RICO. Universal told Capitol, and 6ix9ine was signed to remember the guy who now runs Atlantic? Elliot Grange, who's the son of Lucian Grange? He's signed to the son of the most important nigga, and 6ix9ine was a cash cow for $10K. The moment they saw RICO, they said, that's when Dummy Boy was coming out. They said, we don't want the album. We're good. Nothing's coming out. We ain't putting out an album. They'll put out an album for someone facing murder, facing any charges, but RICOs, no. Federal RICOs, definitely no. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, Thug dropped an album. That album was probably scoured by, Thug is under 300 YSL. And that now is on Warner. Their legal team probably approved that album. That's why y'all didn't feel that album like that. That album couldn't have nothing on it. That album couldn't have anything on it. If you listen to 6ix9ine's album, Dummy Boy, when it came out, he tried to get it pushed through UMG. You know what they said? Fuck no. He changed lyrics. They changed lyrics. Because he was in there saying some gang shit, and they were like, bro, after you get a RICO, you want us to release music with you screaming more gang shit? Okay, buddy. They changed those lyrics. Universal still said no. So that Thug album, I get it. It's not a federal RICO, but it was the definition of a state RICO. The lawyers at Warner put that album out. Guaranteed. Whatever they had to probably listen to every line a million times and said, and by the way, this is how you know 300 valued Young Thug. Most labels would just tell you, no, nigga, you're in a RICO. Fuck out of here. You're not getting no music put out. The hell? You ain't going to get us brought into it. So that shit had to go to the legal department over at, I think they were at Warner. If they weren't there yet, whatever company they were being distributed through at that time, that the legal had to go review that, okay? Now, why am I saying this? And let's bring it back to there. I'm saying this because when you could put that your record label is putting up money, it does matter. I'm going to tell you how it matters. Now, again, this is a murder, so it's very different. But remember when T.I. was caught with like 15 hand grenades, like 3, like, you know what I mean, silence. The nigga had every fucking weapon in the world, looked like he was an ISIS terrorist, and he got out on bail. He got out on bail because Atlantic Records vouched for him. It does matter when you have a big record label, that a big publicly traded company, a $1 billion company saying, we'll be at fault if they fuck up. So Atlantic, which is always been owned by Warner, they put themselves on the line for T.I. because T.I. was the guy for Atlantic. Okay? So that's how T.I. got out. Because I know a lot of people, because people be wondering why certain people get certain privilege. No, your record label is going to, T.I. was the hottest shit popping. Oh, it's T.I. Okay, cool. By the way, I'll give you this. Atlantic also, they did vouch for YoungBoy early on too. So you got to give Atlantic some credit, at least the previous version of Atlantic. Anyway, let me get to, there's so much shit to get to. Chat, we didn't get to the good stuff yet. Okay, let me see. Is everybody in here chilling? The Academy channel, y'all chilling? Okay. Twitter, I see y'all chilling. Okay. We're going to get to this stuff. Okay, so essentially, this is a pretty stripped down bail application. So this is the memorandum in support of his request for pretrial release, which is like, it's like supporting the bail application. This was not going to work. And again, I don't know if they've made the ruling yet. He's supposed to be in court like maybe at this moment. He's going to get denied. You know why? The feds are going to say you're a killer. It's not about the money. Okay, even if we don't use the fact that you were getting on a plane when we locked you up, you're a killer. You get niggas killed. And if you could get niggas killed out of jail, why would you not get niggas killed that could be testifying against you to put you in jail if we let you out? So none of this addressed the fact that, you know, he won't have like phones or anything. They're just saying he's a good guy, and you know, we should look at the people who are supporting him. Nothing says that they could guarantee the safety of the community, and that's why he's gonna sit in jail. Okay, all right. So that's what Durk said. So let's go back to what the feds are saying. So, and this is the interesting part. So Durk submitted their memorandum first, and then the feds submitted theirs. Told you the feds ain't playing. And they've been wanted Durk. Check this out. So they said this murder case is a straightforward detention analysis. No condition or combination of conditions can ensure that Durk will appear or protect the community, including vital witnesses in this case. The defendant cannot rebut the presumption of detention merely by offering a small portion. See, even they know, a small portion of his wealth in a bond package. He must be detained pending his murder trial where he faces a mandatory life sentence. The defendant has offered millions of dollars to secure a pretrial release, claiming that his money in a private security company and controlled by the defendant will somehow ensure his compliance with the law and his bond conditions. The proposed terms are woefully inadequate to protect the community, as I said before. It's all about, will he get people killed? Didn't I tell y'all before, chat? Just think about everything I've told you. Didn't I tell y'all before? This case is primarily going to come down to, do people snitch on Durk? If all of the witnesses that the feds got die, Durk walks. Facts. There's nothing that puts Durk in jail other than snitches. That's a fact. You have circumstantial stuff. Well, you did board the plane with the guy who got the ski mask in this. Bro, I'm cool with hood niggas that do these things. They have prior charges. I'm a musician. These guys they wear several hats. They're street dudes, they're criminals, but they also do things like manage my day-to-day. Well, how does that mean I ordered a murder? So someone has to say, Durk told us to kill the nigga. Or, Durk, where's the money for killing the nigga? That's how you prove this case. So let's get to it. All right. The proposed bail package, this is the feds talking, makes clear the defendant has access to vast resources, but his conduct in this case and others show that he has and will use those resources to endanger the community, influence witnesses, and wield his power for violence. As his first superseding indictment alleges, which is the indictment that linked Durk into the one with Vonnie and Didi and the rest of them, his co-conspirators fired multiple guns, including a machine gun. You got to hit your op with a switch. That's a fact. His co-conspirators fired multiple guns, including a machine gun, to target one of the defendant's rivals, resulting in a murder in broad daylight at a gas station. Just as he offers money to secure his release here, the defendant had offered money to secure the death of a rival that afternoon in L.A. Attempting to collect on the defendant's promise of a monetary reward, the shooters opened fire on the defendant's rival, killing the rival's family member, Lil Pop. The defendant showed no mercy and no remorse following the murder. Instead, mocked his rival and sought to commercialize Lil Pop's death by rapping about his revenge. But if the allegations in this case weren't enough to detain the defendant, which they are, this is what we're talking about, a separate federal case in Chicago also underscores why the defendant cannot be released pending trial. As alleged in a recently unsealed search warrant affidavit in the Northern District of Illinois, the defendant offered money for people to kill those responsible for his brother's murder. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care what none of y'all niggas say. Fuck y'all. Somebody kill a family member of mine. Trust me, I'm putting all my bank account to the killer. Go get that nigga. I'm sorry. Sorry. I can't blame Durk for this one. I can't blame Durk. He still didn't do shit. Like, this is false. This is fake news. But I know y'all hypocritical fans who used to be trolling Slide for Vaughn. Okay, the Slide for Vaughn thing I get. But Slide for your brother, you don't got to tell me that. You don't got to tell me that. You don't have to tell me that. You don't have to tell me that at all. You don't got to troll me about that. That's going to happen, okay? It's like somebody killing your moms. Do you give a fuck about anything else? That nigga got to die. Got to. It don't matter if you got 10 billion or $1. Fuck that. Anyway. Offering money for people to kill those responsible for his brother's murder, and more specifically, offering to pay for any gangster disciple that is killed. Evidence collected in this case also shows the defendant allegedly placed monetary bounties to solicit other murders, including a family member of a witness. Oh, shit. The defendant's MO is clear. He will use his power, money, influence, and any pretrial release to endanger anyone who he perceives as a threat, including witnesses in this case. Argument. The defendant's supposed to be presumed at a flight risk and endangered. They said, here we go. Hold on. I don't want to read every single thing. By the way, I'll upload this to the academy.blog afterwards if you want to see it. Okay. Then it says the defendant's murder and firearm charges justify detention. And then the next thing is, okay, conclusion. Now, they're supposed to be in court today arguing. Like, oh, so they're going to add additional arguments to support this and to answer the judge's question. I think he's going to get denied. Y'all could tell me. There's probably, it's been 2 hours. What time is it in Chicago right now? No, it's not Chicago. Oh, it's LA. It's LA. Never mind. And I think it was a 2 p.m. thing. So the detention hearing doesn't start till 30 minutes from now. Yeah, so he's not there yet. Okay. All good. All good, my people. All good. Now, chat. This is what y'all came here to see. Can I get a little roll call real quick? Everybody up in the building cool? Everybody on King Akademiks channel cool? The Academy, y'all cooling? We on Rumble, we cooling? Are we on Twitch? We cooling over there too? And I know we're on Twitter today. I seen people. I only streamed live on Twitter today because I sent out an incorrect tweet, which I've seen a lot of other people copy, and I felt bad about it because he's not currently indicted. And there might be an indictment here, but I haven't seen it. He's like the lead suspect to be indicted, which almost assumes that he's going to be indicted, but I don't want to announce him being indicted until he's indicted. Okay? You know what I mean? Because I understand, like, you're playing with people's, I want to be accurate. I love being accurate. Okay. So essentially, the big thing here, and we could just search it, is they said, as alleged in a recently unsealed search warrant in the Northern District, the defendant offered money for people to kill those responsible for his brother's murder. That's what everybody's reporting on, chat. I have the indictment here in front of me, and we are going to break this down, chat. So, if you don't know how the feds work, and, you know, I do like the Fed system because it's kind of very transparent more than some states or counties. It's very wide open, okay? There was a search warrant that was applied under seal, okay? Now, before I get there, Stefan Mac D Thang, okay? Here we go. Okay. Is it this the one? Here we go.
Didn't seem to care.
Well, basically my whole team, you know what I'm saying? But the trucking came first from my brother D Thang.
Multiple shots were fired and lots of weapons were found at the scene. Dante Banks was killed when he was shot in the head. Banks is the older brother of locally known rapper Lil Durk.
One evening in 2021, Dante Banks Jr., better known as OTF D Thang, and as Lil Durk's older brother, was at a club in Chicago having a great time partying with his friends. As it would later be revealed, however, D Thang was partying in his opponent's territory that night, and when he got ready to leave, he was brutally hit in the parking lot in a shooting that also injured a Harvey City Police Department cop. In the aftermath of D Thang's tragic passing, the names of two potential suspects started circulating on social media and in the
You're gonna hear how Durk's lyrics start to come true. What did Durk say? Fuck my cousin. Let's go back to what he said.
So cousin about
Here we go.
tell me squash it with my
Here we go.
told me he gotta go and get
Here we go.
right now. I catch my killers.
Here we go.
Fuck my cousin.
Hold on.
That's on my brother. Fuck my cousin. I told him he gotta go and get shot. He slid through the night. My brother died. If you was there, just know you
Dying too?
Asked the ops from over west. Next day, they ass was down too. Hell.
Asked the ops next day, they ass was down too. Right? After his brother died. Let's go back.
tragic passing, the names of two potential suspects started circulating on social media and in the streets of Chicago. Both of these men were rival gang members to OTF D Thang, and based on his previous history, it's highly likely that the accusations are true. Disturbingly, just 1 month after the shooting, the two alleged suspects were hit at a gas station in Chicago. And that very same day, dozens of D Thang's best friends and allies, including Lil Durk himself, posted images of him on social media, strongly suggesting that the hit of the two suspects might have been carried out in retaliation for D Thang's hit. As of today, police are yet to confirm the identity of D Thang's assailant. It was the evening of June 5th, 2021, and OTF D Thang was at a club called Club O on the 17,000 block of South Halsted in Harvey, near Chicago, having the time of his life. Although he was hanging out in a relatively unsafe part of town.
Now, chat, I see some of y'all saying in the chat, I'll be like, yo, Act, you the snitch. Like, you doing too much. I ain't even gonna lie to you. When I seen this come out, because I'm like, yo, I'm either have the, like, I know I'm good at what I do. And I keep telling you, police job is pretty easy because, like, these days it's just spelled out on the internet. But I was like, did they watch my video then go do all this shit? I'm gonna show you a search warrant. The search warrant is from a year ago. So before we ever talked about this. So Ak had nothing to do with it. The police already was doing. I'm just good at predicting the future. As I predicted the death, not death, but the death of the career of many rappers and other things. I'm just, I try to be informed. But no, I have nothing to do with police, bro. Please.
No.
I love Durk. The fuck? Why would I tell on Durk? The first thing I would tell on is Meek Mill. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I could tell it on a nigga right now, I would tell on Meek Mill, give that nigga 70 years in jail.
And in the territory of the Gangster Disciples, or GDs, his opponents, he let his guard and his hair down and spent the night having a good time in the hookah lounge of Club O.
Chat. But, all right, I'll just show you the look. This is a search warrant we're going to look at. What does it say? Filed 4/6/2023. That's April 6, 2023. That's a year before I ever said anything. So don't ever try to say, listen, I'm just good at finding information. I'm good at putting it together for y'all to know. You got to realize, Big Boy Ak came a long way from Warren Chirac. It's the reason why we still number one, and it's the reason why nothing bigger than the chat, okay? But in terms of, like, some underhanded shit, no. Anything I find, you could find, is just that I'm kind of paid millions to find the shit to give it to y'all first. You know what I mean? That's it. So I'm on it every day. Okay, anyway.
Considering his recent history, most people would have been too terrified to even go near Club O and would have rather played it safe. But D Thang didn't seem to care. In the weeks and months.
So Durk was on a win streak, if you want to remember this time. Durk is doing good. Von did pass away, but, like, Durk is killing it. And from what I've heard is that D Thing was just feeling himself. Like, D Thing was just like, man, I'm that nigga. And not necessarily let his guard down, but felt brazen enough to say, yo, I'm going to this club where I know I could run into anybody, but I'm that nigga. And also, here's the thing, too. A lot of the beef that Durk was having at that point, at least mainstream-wise, was focused on NBA YoungBoy Quando Rondo because we saw because King Von had died, right? So King Von had died. So people are thinking that, yo, he got beef with people from out of town. Now, of course, he always got situations going on in Chicago, but some people feel like maybe D Thing let his guard down by even being there because from what I heard, Club O is not the spot you want to be if you're those type of people on that particular night.
Leading up to the night of June 5th, he made a series of inflammatory posts calling.
He said, on Newski, I don't want none of my new ops dead, for real. So to you new ops, fuck you niggas, for real, that sneak this in. All you niggas doing is what bitches do on the gang. Keep OTF or smirk name out y'all mouth. And damn, what you niggas this mad for? Now, I'm going to say something, and I love Durk, and I love OTF. I do believe that, and I hate to say it because I don't know all the circumstances around this. Do y'all see FYBJ Main going to O Block and him like, yo, let's squash the beef. Nah, we pushing peace now. It's very easy to forgive your enemies when you have won at the game of life. It doesn't mean that your enemies are down to forgive you, especially when they're losing. So J Main going to O Block and be like, oh yeah, now I'm getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. I'm down to forgive y'all niggas. It's all good now. Let's be cool. They're looking at him like, nigga, we're broke. And now we're even more mad at your bitch ass because you're the only one who got rich off of this. Fuck you. Get out of O Block. There's a possibility that this is what happened. Durk's brother goes to this club thinking, yo, we up millions now. Yo, I'm down to forgive all y'all, man. We don't give a fuck. I get it. Like, yo, we did, all right, we get it, but like, I'm down to get over this shit. The niggas who there, they feel more offended. You coming through here, big ass car, jewelry. You think you that nigga? You shitting on us now? You thinking you won the war? You think we just gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, let's be friends now? Fuck you, nigga. That's what some people have kind of told me.
Out CMB and Gutter Gang, two gangs from the south side of Chicago with an active beef with 072 Dog Pound, a gang OTF D Thang was known to be affiliated with. In one of his most notorious posts, he directly disrespected CMB and Gutter Gang. And in that same post, he mentioned that he didn't even know who his opponents were anymore because all of his real opponents were deceased, which was taken as a blatant sign of disrespect by members of the rival sets he dissed. Fast forward to the evening of June 5th, and it's probably a bit more clear by now why it was so dangerous for D Thang to be partying in GD territory. Around midnight that evening, a policeman named Officer Derek Muhammad with the Harvey City Police Department noticed that one of the patrons at Club O had a gun, and after confronting him,
Chicago. If I'm in Chicago, I'm not going to the courthouse without my gun. I'm not going to drop off my kid at school without a gun. Did y'all hear the story about in Chicago? The nigga walking his son either to or from school, and his ops are just shooting at him like nothing ain't happening. I'm going to be honest with you. Only in Chicago, I would go to church with a gun, go to take a shit with a gun, fuck a bitch with a gun. I'm going to everywhere with a gun. I'm going to the hospital with a gun. I'm going to keep a gun everywhere. I don't care what y'all talking about. This Chicago, nigga.
an altercation ensued in which the officer was shot in the thigh. Fortunately, he survived and later recovered from his injuries. Around the same time, OTF D Thang decided it was time to call it a night and went out into the parking lot to head home. There, speculators claim they saw D Thang get into a verbal altercation with other patrons from the club, and after a few seconds, they saw one of the patrons pull out a gun. What happened next is a tragedy all too familiar to the hip-hop community by now. In the chaos of the altercation, OTF D Thang was shot in the head and passed away instantly. As soon as the police and paramedics arrived, D Thang was immediately pronounced deceased. As news of D Thang's passing began to spread, dozens of his loyal fans, friends, and family members poured out their condolences on social media to honor the memory of the fallen rapper. As is often the case with rappers and gang members who pass away due to gruesome crimes, this wasn't the first incident where D Thang had been in mortal danger. In 2014, D Thang's younger brother and famous rapper Lil Durk had beef with another rapper by the name of Mubu Crump. That same year, D Thang ran into Crump's crew at a meet and greet that was hosted by T.I. and the Shop 147 in Harvey, Illinois, and things got very messy very quickly. To make a long story short, the night ended with D Thang and several other OTF members getting into a vicious fight with the Mubu crew, all of which was captured on camera. In response to the incident, OTF D Thang uploaded a video telling Crump and his crew that he wanted to fight them again and taunted the entire Mubu crew for allegedly having run from him during the fight at the Shop 147. 4 years later, on October 8, 2018, OTF D Thang almost passed away when he was shot by his opponents in a McDonald's parking lot. Although he ended up surviving, Lil Durk's cousin, Baby D, who was with D Thang at the time.
By the way, I don't know if you ever knew about this sinister. Just think about this, chat. Lil Durk almost healed. Right? Almost healed. Comes out May 2026. May 26, 2023, right? 2020, Vaughn dies. 2021, his brother dies. 2022, the niggas who killed his brother, they get clapped. The niggas who killed Vaughn, at least a cousin of theirs get clapped. 2023, he drops an album, I'm almost healed. You ever think about that, Chad? It's like poetic. 2020, Vaughn dies. 2021, his brother dies. 2022, get back for both those situations. 2023, I'm almost healed. Crazy, huh? Okay.
Time of the incident was not so lucky and passed away from his wounds. Still, despite all his previous close calls and near demise experiences, D Thang himself had managed to survive every single time. Unfortunately, his luck ran out in the early morning hours of June 6, 2021. Although police have not yet confirmed the identity of D Thang's assailants, several sources familiar with the incident have claimed that the two men responsible for the hit were 33-year-old Jarmy Hawkins, formerly affiliated with NLC or No Love City, a set of gangster disciples, and 19-year-old Jalen Anderson, a former member of Gutta Gang. As for how these gang members are all connected, it all has to do with gang affiliations and rivalries, as well as the posts D Thang made on social media before his passing. To understand why these two men were suspected by many of carrying out the hit against OTF D Thang, it's important to remember that one of NLC's biggest rival sets is Lamron, one of the gangs that Lil Durk is mostly closely associated with. In the years leading up to D Thang's passing, there had been a lot of tension between the two gangs, which can be easily deduced from rap tracks like R.I.P. Mo, in which Lil Durk directly disrespects No Love City all the way back in 2009. Considering all this context and OTF D Thang's previous disses on social media directed towards
Okay. I think we got pretty much a decent amount. Okay, now let me play this. This was outside of the club that Durk's brother died at. So he had gotten shot while walking out of the club here. And remember, there was a police officer. Like, put it like this. I'm not going to no club that they hire police officers to work the club and the police officer at the club get shot. And the party's still going on. How the hell did the police officer get shot and we still partying? Wait, hold on. I don't think this is safe. Wait, hold the fuck up. So the police officer got shot, and I guess there's a little bit of commotion, but then Durk's brother is, he's like, I think this is a wrap. Let me get out of here. He's walking out. Niggas start shouting at him. He's shouting back. He's a man. And eventually somebody shoots him right in the head. Right? Like, bro, I'm not going to no club like this in Chicago. What the fuck?
What Moneymaker D Thang just lost his life. As you see, it's closed. They open at 10 p.m. and they stay open at 6 a.m. There's all type of expensive cars out here. I'm not sure who is with who, but as you see, this is the Club O. It's all the way in South Harlem. I didn't know it was this far. Y'all just made me drive this far. Y'all owe me some gas money, gang. This ridiculous. But what they got going on up here? I might be back. But yeah, man. Apparently, the little information that I got from the people that I talked to, D Thang was up here. He was arguing with somebody that he recognized. In the middle of that argument, he came outside. I guess he was coming back outside to get the stuff to his car and to get around people he's familiar with. And in the midst of that, he was shot and killed. As you see, this is his blood that's still on the ground right here. The D Thang blood. It's from the infamous Club O. Y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think, man. D Thang lost his life here, bro. R.I.P. D Thang. Durk, keep your head.
Okay, so I'm trying to summarize it before we get to this hot. Like again, chat. I am doing a little bit of a cliffhanger because I do have some info that isn't out there, which is a search warrant. It gives a lot of detail, and this is why Durk is being brought up. Now, obviously, it's a gut reaction, and again, I don't know if this is true, but I'm gonna just be honest with you. Like, I'm not gonna be mad at Durk if he slid for his brother, bro. I'm sorry to tell y'all that. However, just trying to piece it together. So this happens, and the streets start talking, and there is a few people that come up that they believe was either in the argument or responsible or said it, whatever, for D Thang dying. Right after D Thang dying, what happens is a guy named Stefan Mack, he dies. He gets murdered, okay? And let's see, Stefan Mack. If Reddit has a lot of stuff about him, right? So Stefan Mack is actually, okay, this is about the guy who got killed, charged with murder. But people thought the Stefan Mack guy did the murder. Now, here's the interesting part, and this is only, this is Reddit Rumorville. They claim that this is the second time Durk has gotten the wrong guy, because they claim this ain't the guy who killed his brother. But maybe he's with it or whatever, like close to it. But he gets clipped, so Stefan Mack dies, just like how Lil Pop dies. But the actual guy that you probably want, you didn't get him. There was somebody else who died too. That's why Durk allegedly raps what Durk rapped again? We could probably go back to it. He said?
Asked the ops from over west, next day they ass was down 2. Hellfire on the back.
Asked the ops, next day they ass was down 2.
From over west, next day they ass was down 2. Hell, next day they down 2. Asked my brother died, if you was there, just know you down 2.
My brother died, and just know if you was there, you're dying too.
Asked the ops from over west, next day they ass was down 2.
And they was definitely down too. That's a fact, okay? So, Stefan Mack gets killed. Now, this is where we get to the very important document I'm about to read to you right now. This is an affidavit for a search warrant, okay? And this was filed last year. It tells you about the elongated period that the police have been looking at Lil Durk, but for multiple situations. They were investigating Durk for the Lil Pop situation even before this. So they've had multiple investigations involving Durk. So let's look at this search warrant. In the matter of search, okay, the information associated with cellular telephone associated blah, 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 that is stored at the premises controlled by AT&T, okay? This is an application for search warrant. And by the way, this is the date. I, a federal law enforcement officer or an attorney for the government, request a search warrant or state under penalty of perjury that I have reason to believe that on the following person or property that will be searched, which is located and looked like it was a northern district of Texas. They searched. There's evidence of a crime, and the judge signs off on it, right? So the judge, this is the applicant's signature. The judge signs off on it. And this was, again, April 26, 2023. Now, that's the search warrant, like, the affidavit, and, obviously it's been signed by a judge. So that means if they show up to your door with this and show you this and you see a judge sign it, you got to let them do whatever they want in terms of what it says they could do here. But then there's usually a affidavit of what they told the judge that they believe they were going to find, even beyond just this small application. That's where we're going to get some more information. Check this out. So this affidavit in support of an application of a search warrant says, listen, I'm a special agent. And anytime you hear special agent, a lot of times that's a local officer that has been deputized, that's became a special agent. Look, I've been so employed since approximately July 2010. I'm currently assigned to the FBI Chicago Homicide Task Force. Actually, this is an actual FBI agent, not a deputized local agent. My bad, sorry. As part of my job responsibilities, I investigate criminal violations relating to violent crimes and gang-related offenses, including blah, 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 federal firearm, narcotics, and racketeering laws. I've been involved with the briefing of defendants, informants, and witnesses, and blah, blah, blah. Just telling what this guy's done. The affidavit is made in support of an application for a search warrant for information associated with a certain cell phone, aside to call numbers, one, information associated with a cell phone number, blah, 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 bearing IMEI. This is how much. This would be a good time. I don't know if I could hit him. I know he's in Vegas, so I could get Myron on here. But remember he was saying about search warrants and like wiretaps and how much detail you have to pull. You can't just be like, yo, let me just run up in their house and just get anything, right? If you want to get some of these things, you need to properly spell it out. This is the number. This is the IMEI number. We believe it's stored at a premises controlled by AT&T. And we want the the warrant to go search that, right? And it appears that they wanted to issue this warrant most likely to AT&T. That AT&T could do what's called they're going to copy all the messages or everything going to that phone, and that the feds can see. So you don't alert the person who has the phone, but you're still getting everything. Okay, so cool. Subject 1's phone associated with blah blah blah. Then we have subject 3 and subject 4 and subject 5. I don't want to bore you with everything. If you guys go to the academy.blog, all this will be posted after the stream. But I just want to get to the important stuff. So as Seth Ford, more fully below, the FBI is investigating allegations that Anthony Montgomery, which is, I think his nickname is like AJ something, and Preston Powell used facilities of interstate commerce with the intent of murder for hire. See? That term keeps coming up. That a murder for hire be committed in violation of Title 18. Cool. They conspired to use facilities, They possess a firearm, Cool. Specifically, the FBI is investigating allegations that Montgomery and Powell murdered Stephon Mack. Now that name comes into play. On January 27, 2022, in violation of the laws of Illinois, in consideration, listen, so they murdered someone violating the laws of state of Illinois as consideration for receipt of something of pecuniary value, which is pretty much they murdered someone for money. Mack was shot and killed by 2 assailants while leaving a youth peace center. Ooh, that's going to play crazy in court. He's leaving a youth peace center and you kill him while leaving a youth peace center. Overcooked. The 2 assailants exited from the parked stolen car firing at Mack, and Mack walked across the parking lot. As the 2 assailants were driving up to the parking lot, Powell used subject 3 phone, exchanged with several phone calls with subject 4. Law enforcement believes that subject 4 is typically used by co-conspirator A. We're now hearing co-conspirators. But for the reasons set forth below, may have been used by co-conspirator B, which is co-conspirator A's brother, at the time of the exchange calls. And I know you might be like, who are these people? We're going to get to Durk in a second. Don't worry. The 2 assailants abandoned the stolen car at the scene parking lot after having murdered Mack. Through law enforcement investigations summarized below, I believe that Powell and Montgomery were 2 assailants after the murder. Montgomery left this, and by the way, this is how most murders get solved. People like to plan out good murders, except you're filled with adrenaline. You have to move like this. You forget something. You touch something you shouldn't. You didn't wipe. Come on. A perfect murder in these days, if you want you, if the cops want you, look at the Luigi guy. They're going to catch you if they want you, right? So anyway, the dude leaves the stolen phone in the stolen car. He leaves the cell phone in the car, right? And Powell called Montgomery 3 times on that phone. 3 minutes after the shooting, but he left the phone. They had split up on foot different directions, and Powell was likely unaware that Montgomery left the phone inside the vehicle that was used to commit the murder. 34 minutes after Mack was murdered, Montgomery's girlfriend, listed as subscriber for subject 1's phone, called AT&T to report the phone stolen. So the girlfriend, this is some backward shit. You should have reported the phone stolen before, but they would have cut the line. So you could tell they're going to holler at the girlfriend. So right after the murder, the girlfriend calls AT&T to say, yo, my phone got stolen, right? Keep in mind, these guys who everybody think they're smart criminals, they're not thinking that the cops know exact moment when the crime happens. They have it on surveillance footage. They also have timestamps of everything happening with the phone, where it's pinging the GPS location, also every message coming in and every call. So they know the murder happened. 3 minutes later, is getting a bunch of calls that the phone left in a stolen car. Then 30 minutes later, when they subpoena AT&T said, yes, we did get a call from someone who was trying to report that phone stolen. Come on, right? This is simple shit. Chat, we play Monday morning quarterback, right? So when we're reading all these things, I know a lot of times I look in the chat, I'm like, yo, these niggas is dumb. Of course they're dumb when you realize that the cops are just 20 steps ahead of everybody, right? Anyway. 5 days after Montgomery abandoned the phone in the stolen car, he obtained a new cell phone. And they call this one subject phone 2. And they said he used subject phone 2 to communicate with Powell using what I believe is code language to discuss when Montgomery was going to receive the payment. And that's going to be a big issue. The payment for having murdered Mac. In February 2022, law enforcement seized subject phone 2 from Montgomery incident to his arrest in an unrelated case. For the reasons set forth below, there's probable cause to believe that the location of subject phone 1, 3, the time of the murder, will lead to evidence of the subject offenses, and that 5, blah, blah, blah. Cool. The statements in his affidavit are based on my personal knowledge and on information I have received from other law enforcement personnel and persons with knowledge regarding relevant facts. Based on this affidavit being submitted for the limited purposes of securing a search warrant, I have not included each and every fact known to me concerning this investigation. I have set forth facts that I believe are sufficient to establish probable cause to search the information in blah, 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 blah. Cool. Now it says on March 24th, 2023, the District Court for the Northern District of Illinois, Honorary Jeffrey Cummins, issued a search warrant to search this phone and subject to phone for the evidence of the subject offenses in the case of blah, 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 blah. And by the way, you get to realize there's 2 case numbers. Cool. Here's the facts supporting this. And now this is where we're going to get into some shit. As part of the investigation, okay? General background. So they're saying that the GD and the BDs are beefing. Okay, the FBI has spoken with the Chicago gang officers who are familiar with the beef based on their training. And now we get into some a little more specifics. According to Smashville member 1. And now we're going to get to, again, with these situations, I keep telling you, snitching is part of the crime. Like, let me tell you this. I hate to give people like any hints because I read these things all the time now, unfortunately. If you want to commit a cleaner crime, especially crimes like this, you got to do what they did in, what's that Batman movie where he was like, yo, the Joker told me to kill you. You got to kill the niggas. Like, after you're done killing the person, kill the niggas who helped. That's all you got to do. Kill all the niggas who helped. Because one of them is going to tell. That's the reality of it, right? So according to Smashville member 1, the Smashville GDs, so there's a member of Smashville GDs who's a snitch. Perfect. The Smashville control territory in the vicinity of 83rd Street to 87th Street and Ashland Avenue and Damon Avenue. And they've been in deadly conflict with the neighboring Killer War GDs and other neighborhood gangs that operate and commit violence in the city of Chicago. Okay, cool. Y'all don't care about that much, but here we go. Chat, watch this. Recover from Smashville memory, blah, blah, but this is what you care about. According to FBI Confidential Human Source, CHS1, Mike City is a faction of black disciples that controls territory and operates in the area of South 85th Street to South 87th Street, from Carpenter to Sangamon Street on the south side of Chicago. Here's a little bit of background on the victim. At the time of his death, Mac was suspected leader of the Smashville GDs, and according to the records and blah, 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 Mac was sentenced to 24 months imprisonment following a 3-year term of supervised release for having a firearm. That's about the victim. Now, let's talk about the people who did the killing. Now, you might be like, yo, this don't sound like 600. This don't sound like OTF. These guys aren't OTF necessarily, but they're in liaison with OTF, if you want to know that, right? According to this same snitch, Montgomery is a Mike City black disciple from the south side of Chicago, circling red on the left below, so they do have pictures. Shout out to the feds, always using amazing pictures. I like that. Has been pictured with recording artist Durk Banks, aka Lil Durk, who, according to CHS, one is also a black disciple from the south side of Chicago. So they have a picture of Lil Varney putting this up, and they basically said, this is Durk. This is this guy who is Anthony Montgomery. So they show Durk knows him. Now, they're being very callous, or not callous, but they're being very careful, because they're eventually going to say, but they're literally saying Durk paid for this. You're going to see it. According to CH1, the leader of Mike City, circled in red below, has ties to Lil Durk and has been in the rap videos with Durk, circled in the red on the right. Have you seen that video before, chat?
Cherry production. They really don't mean it. He play.
Interesting.
Instagram, you doing
Okay. So background. So they're saying that this guy here, whose name is Anthony Montgomery, I think his name is AJ. Okay. So his name is like AJ from Mike City. Okay. Then they're saying, and by the way, so this picture had Durk with the leader of Mike City. And then they said the shooter, which is AJ from Mike City, right? The leader, sorry. Oh, no. Actually, no. It wasn't AJ. It was the leader of Mike City. So they're saying Durk put the leader of the gang where one of his homies killed, what's the name, in the video, okay? Then the other guy is Preston Powell. According to CPD reports, Powell has spent time living at blah, 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 Carpenter Street, which is located in Mike City BD territory, according to him. So it looked like these are both Mike City BD people. He's a victim. Powell was a victim of simple battery that occurred there. Let's just keep it going. And now we get to Durk. Background on Durk Banks. Interesting. Durk Banks is a famous rapper on the south side of Chicago, according to CHS1, a snitch. Conversation with CPD gang officers who are familiar with Black Disciples, social media postings, and public source research, and a review of Lil Durk's lyrics. Durk is a member of the Lamron faction of the Black Disciples. According to CPD records, Lil Durk's brother, Dante Banks Jr., a.k.a. D Thang, was shot and killed outside of a nightclub in Harvey, Illinois in June 2021. CHS1 has reported that Durk was and is still, it said is, so at the time of that, so in 2023, it said Durk was still offering money. In 2023, he was still free. Offering money for people to kill those responsible for his brother's murder, and more specifically, offering to pay money for any gangster disciple that is killed. CHS1 has also indicated that D Thang was killed by members of Dump Street. According to CHS1, Dump Street is a GD faction. Okay? So they're saying the people who killed D Thang was from Dump Street. And Dump Street is a GD faction on the south side of Chicago. According to CHS1, Dump Street member individual A was a close associate of Mac. Okay? According to law enforcement records, individual A is currently in a pretrial custody for allegedly committed a double murder that took place at a country club in Illinois. Okay, we could figure out this, chat. Let's see who individual A is, because anytime we see individual, well, individual don't mean snitch, actually. Individual usually doesn't mean snitch, but we could figure out anything we want at this point, right? Yeah. Okay, man arrested after two brothers killed in, yeah, okay, so this is a double murder. So individual A is, who is this? D. Armani Green. Okay. So these are the two people who died. And D. Armani Green, he was 21 from Markham. Let's Google him. Markham. Let's see if we can find a mugshot or something like that. Find probably something, right? I could look up the mugshot myself, but let's go to images. Okay, this is, do you guys know this guy? This is D. Armani Green. So he's individual A. Okay? Chat, none of this is snitching. This is called having a fucking brain. Okay? The feds already did their investigation. We're just not waiting until the trial to figure out what they know, right? They know this shit already. We're trying to figure it out as the public. They're still investigating, so we got to be like, read between the lines. Okay, bet. So they're saying individual A was close to Mac, and he's locked up for a double murder. Cool. Now, Stephon Mack's murder. According to the records and information provided by YPC, and I think that's the youth, is that the youth whatever thingy? Yeah. Mac, yeah, okay, yeah, that's the Youth Peace Center. Mac arrived at the Youth Peace Center at 12:07 on January 27. Based on the video surveillance provided by the YPC at approximately 2:22, while Mac was still inside, a 2014 black Chrysler sedan with tinted windows carrying the shooters arrived to the parking lot. The Chrysler was initially parked on the east side of the parking lot, facing the YPC. At approximately 2:25, the Chrysler moved to the west side of the lot, facing eastward. The shooters remained in the Chrysler for approximately 40 minutes, apparently waiting for Mac to leave YPC. So they were there. Based on the surveillance footage provided by YPC, Mac exited the YPC and began walking across the parking lot at approximately 2:59 p.m. As he walked towards his car, two masked individuals emerged from the Chrysler, one from the driver's side door, shooter A, and the other from the front passenger side door, shooter B. They began shooting at Mac, who fled eastbound from the shooters. Based on the video surveillance, right, as well as information provided by the CPD concerning Mac's autopsy, and recovered evidence at and around the crime scene, shooter A pursued him on foot, shot him to death with a Ruger AR 5.56. Let's look how that looks. Ruger AR 5.56. So with a gun that looks like this. Okay. Maybe sawed off a little bit, but, you know, niggas. Based on the ring camera footage obtained from residents located on the 300 block of the West 110th Place on Chicago, blah, blah. After killing Mac, I believe shooter A fled eastbound from the YBC as so he did. The ring camera footage captured shooter A yelling something to the effect of, "Marley! Yo, come on, Marley!" Perfect. You got to yell, "Come on," and name the person you're telling to come on after you've done a murder. Ring camera footage depicted shooter A fleeing from the YPC after killing Mac. No need to have a mask on, wearing all black clothes, face coverings. When you're going to yell out the person's name, that's also wearing the same shit. Let's wear a face mask, but just talk to each other. Yo, Mike Evans, come on, nigga. We gonna kill this nigga right now. Yo, Mike, let's kill him. You know, they can't see us. We got a mask on. What you talking about? We sliding. Perfect. According to the records and information provided by CPD, a Ruger AR 5.56 rifle bearing, whatever, was recovered in the backyard of a vacant residence. So they found the gun. Okay. Cooked. They found a gun. They got you there. They see you get out there. They know the shell casings of that gun and the caliber in the autopsy. Like, you're pretty much cooked. And also they have you on camera saying words. Okay, you're pretty much cooked. Bet. According to the records and information obtained by the Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco, so this is the ATF. The Ruger was purchased by individual B at Federal Firearms located in Atlanta, Georgia. Ooh. So somebody bought this in Atlanta. So they clearly, you know, the feds don't play. They kick somebody's door down. Motherfucker, who did you give this gun to because they just murdered somebody with? You bought it legally. They got the gun. You tell us or we about to get you in this murder. So they probably, I don't know if they told, but they probably made some excuse of, oh, no, I lost the gun. I filed a police report. No, okay. Because they're listed as individual B. Based on surveillance footage provided by YPC, information provided by the Chicago Police Department, information provided by Victim 1. Who's Victim 1? We'll figure it out. Shortly after the shooting commenced in the YPC parking lot, Victim 1, who was YPC's security guard, okay, so the security guard's also listed as a victim, stepped outside into the parking lot and was shot in the left leg. Okay, so they're definitely getting charged for shooting him, okay, by shooter B. So shooter A is this guy, skinny guy, okay, he was calling Marley, and then we now know Marley is this guy. He looked like Mir Flacco running down the road. He looked a little hefty, you feel what I'm saying? So this is shooter B. Okay, bet. So shooter B fled westbound on foot and looked like he's already out of breath. Come on, gang. We already know what it is, all right? You know what he's probably thinking? Stop calling my motherfucking name, nigga. Nigga, stop calling my motherfucking name, right? By the way, interesting to note. All right, we'll get to that. So Montgomery is shooter A, all right? And then Preston Powell, I believe, is shooter B. I guess, is his nickname Marley? Why is his nickname Marley? I don't know. Okay, so shooter A is AJ, which is Montgomery, and shooter B is Preston Powell, named Marley. I guess street name Marley. As discussed in more detail below, I believe that Montgomery is shooter A, and according to reports by the CPD, the Chrysler was reported stolen around January 20th, 2022, so they stole it a week before, okay? According to the records and information provided by CPD during the search of the abandoned Chrysler after the shooting, law enforcement recovered subject one's phone in the front seat of the car, okay? Oh, wow. if you're going to do a murder, hey, I got to clap it up for this guy. He's smart. If you're going to use a stolen car to do the murder and you have your phone on you that's tracking your location, getting calls and sending messages, of course you should leave your phone in the stolen car after you run away from the stolen car. I would say he's an idiot, but if everybody knows my boy left it on the charger, he's at least getting his battery time up. Salute to that man. My boy left it on the charger. That's a real nigga right there, man. Real nigga shit, man. Can't even cap. My boy left his shit on the charger. And look like, is this Dunkin' Donuts coffee? You got to get some coffee before you clap a nigga. That's a fact. Left it on the charger. Oh, this is great. Perfect. All right. I ain't mad. I ain't bad. On about January 4th, 2022, a CPD detective. Oh, by the way, you know another reason you got to leave your phone on the charger is that if it died, maybe those messages wouldn't come through in a timely manner. Or actually, maybe those messages wouldn't come through before the girlfriend who called to say, yo, I lost my phone, cut the service, cut it off. But you kept it charged. Real niggas, man. All right. On or about February 4, 2022, a CPD detective applied for a search warrant for subject one phone in the Circuit County Court of Cook County. On the same day, the Circuit County Court of Cook County, they issued a search warrant for the phone, and this is a case number. Based on my observation with CPD personnel, CPD has executed a warrant for subject one phone, but had been unable to get into the phone. Remember I told you sometimes it takes a while for them to get into the phone. FBI since executed a search warrant on subject one phone and is still attempting to get onto the phone. So they haven't fully gotten into it yet. So this is why they're also, they rather just hit AT&T, that AT&T could provide, just the phone, the messages, right? According to records and information provided by Apple linked the account. So Apple won't give you access to the phone, but they'll give you the IMEI number, right? So they gave the IMEI number, which is associated with this phone number. So they're subpoenaing AT&T and Apple. They get IMEI, which is like a device code from Apple. They get the any data and forward correspondence or phone calls or whatever that's going to go to the phone. They get it from AT&T, but they can't get into the phone itself, right? So it's showing that, bro, one thing Apple does good, Apple tells the feds, tells all police, fuck off. We're never going to open a phone for you if it's locked by that person. Now, obviously, they have their own ways to get into phones, but sometimes it takes a while. All right, perfect. So it was here, secondary email address of here, and it was the residential address of here. Bet FBI received the Illinois State Police Division of Forensic lab report, and the lab report said there was DNA match between a biological material recovered from subject one's phone in Montgomery, basically fingerprint or DNA that he left on the screen. If you ever use your phone, you pressing like the oils from your finger that naturally generate your phone, shit could be a hair follicle, could be sweat, could be spit. Your niggas is, niggas be like, man, fuck you, bitch. Like all your spit lather in the phone. Well, when the police get your phone, they'll be able to get some DNA off of that. So they did a forensic report. They probably swabbed that nigga's mouth or some way got his DNA, matched it to the phone. Nigga, we know you was using the phone. Again, I keep telling you, you can't beat the cops. If they want you that bad, the only way you could get away with crime is killing somebody that nobody cares. You kill a celebrity, you kill someone of high importance that they're going to deploy hundreds of thousands of dollars in resources, you're getting caught. You kill some random bum in some random city that just doesn't have the manpower to solve it, you'll probably get away for a while. Okay? But in most cases, if it's like high profile, fuck no. Okay, it's too much, right? So they identified that this nigga had the phone by his fucking DNA. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Again, I know most of y'all think y'all could do like perfect crimes. Bruv, they're using your DNA to prove you used the phone. Like, my nigga, like, you can't even see DNA. Like, come on, bro. Like, you can't do crimes no more if you want to not get caught. All right, bet. Cool. The listed subscriber for the phone was individual C. Okay, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's keep it going. So, 3 minutes later, approximately 3:45, and approximately 44 minutes after he was murdered, individual C contacted AT&T using this number, reported that subject one phone had been stolen. Individual C is listed for blah, blah, blah. And yeah, cool. All right. And I think that seems like the girlfriend, right? Who's individual C? Has to be. All right, whatever. FBI conducted analysis of the contacts between this phone and subject phone 1. Okay, so basically, so they essentially identified what phone was contacting the phone they found in the car on the charger. They realized that one of the phones must have been had by the other guy that was the second shooter. And now they're kind of tracking or trying to decode what the fuck they were talking about. And this is where they're busting open the case. Because, of course, if I kill someone after being paid to kill someone 3 minutes after the murder, while the police are rushing to the scene, the first thing on my mind is for me to hit up the other murderer, even though we ran separate ways, and ask him, when is the guy who paid us to do the murder gonna pay us for the murder? That sounds accurate, right? And that's exactly what happened, my people. So on about April 26th, law enforcement interviewed individual C. During an interview, individual C identified her. Okay, so I was right, Montgomery's girlfriend. And also verified that that phone number was hers. Again, no matter how great you fuck her, you could give her 15 kids. The moment she sit down with the feds and they said, we think you helped plan the murder, you're going down too. Yo, dick ain't that good. She's going to say, I don't know what's going to happen. That was my phone, but I had nothing to do with it. Okay, ain't no holding it down, and that's exactly what she did. She identified that she was the subscriber, and then and that number was her number for years. Individual C related that AJ, so the girlfriend said AJ, right, is a criminal. Of course, the girls are gonna tell that dick ain't that good. Okay, you know. When the niggas get smoked, the girl cries for about, they cry at a funeral, they cry for a little bit more, they get some more sympathy on Instagram, then a rich nigga slides in the DM, they're like, wait, is that a check mark, a blue one? Fuck that nigga, man, on to the next dick. So anyway, this chick gets interviewed, she realizes she's probably facing some criminal charges. Your fucking phone is found in a car, stolen car, that was used to commit a murder. You're probably going to get charged. She's like, oh, no, como estas? Like, I'll snitch on anybody. So they say, all right, who are these people? She starts spilling the beans. She says, yo, AJ, he's a criminal and a felon. Shout out to the women out there. Individual C related that she knows AJ have been convicted. So she's testifying to that nigga's. You know they could look up his criminal history, but they're getting her to talk. Probably gave her a nice little burger. Probably, we'll never know. Maybe some Chick-fil-A. Could even be some Chipotle. You never know. American Deli. Word to Yak Gotti. Got her doing good up in that motherfucking interrogation room. She's over here like, oh, that nigga a felon. This is how you know you're a felon. Man, I know that nigga was, she said she knows he was a felon because he was convicted before for UUWs, meaning unlawful use of a weapon. Oh, he been a shooter. That nigga been shooting at mad people. Interesting. Tell me more. Individual C related that she has never been present for any of his arrests. So basically snitching on him, but say, yeah, I ain't never been around, but I just know about that nigga. Perfect. Okay? Come on. Shorty, you can't get your nails done in jail. So tell on them niggas, man. According to the records and information provided by CPD during the search of the abandoned Chrysler, law enforcement recovered a receipt. You got to keep a receipt in case, you know what I mean? I don't know what's up with criminals keeping receipts. Yo, I went to Starbucks. I kept the receipt. For what? You can't even return the coffee, nigga. Yeah, I went to McDonald's and got a hash brown. I kept the receipt. For what? But okay. Kept the receipt. That was dated January 21, 2022. Jimmy Famous Burger from Jimmy Famous Burgers. You got to eat good before you go on a drill. Facts. Another receipt from a Walgreens. You got to get your gloves. Got to get surgical gloves from a local pharmacy. And if you do get them, you never know. Got to get the receipt because after you use a few, you might be able to bring it back. Who knows? Okay. Trust. So went to Walgreens, probably got a little surgical face mask, all that type of stuff. That's probably the place you would go to get that type of stuff, but you got to keep the receipt. Yeah. Video surveillance footage from the burger spot says that a black female customer was actually inside the restaurant. So, damn, that might be her. Hey, you bought them food, bitch. Like, what are you talking about? Now, it might be said that she was in that's proof that she was in that car. Okay, here we go. Bingo! So, it shows the black female inside the spot getting the burgers, right? Video surveillance from the Walgreens reflects the same woman was in Walgreens that day. So this is why you know shit is popping. You know why she's telling? She got them niggas the food and probably bought the gloves and mask and all that type of stuff. And probably they said, you're getting charged with murder, bitch. You get what I'm saying? Check this out. It's approximately 3:32 p.m. The same woman exited Jimmy's, right here, and got in the front seat passenger of the Chrysler. During her interview, April 26, 2022, individual stated that so basically the girlfriend of one of the killers went to get them food, went into the store to buy the stuff, and they probably thought they were smart. Yo, you don't go in the store. I'm going to go in the store, but I'm going to just drop me off at home before you go kill them niggas. And we're going to get away with this. Wrong, bozo. And so essentially, cool. So they're saying identifies a woman in the surveillance footage from Walgreens and Jimmy Burgers. Individual C stated that individual X drove individual C to Walgreens and whatever. So individual X is somebody else during the same interview. So other people were driving that car. So there's multiple other people. Individual C also stated that her mother's name was individual D. So this is a lot of people they're all driving a stolen car. It's kind of crazy. So inside the stolen car, they found a phone belonging to the girlfriend, receipts from around that day, but surveillance footage, and even what the girl is saying is that, I went to those places in that stolen car, or maybe she was lying. She was probably lying, actually, now I'm thinking of it. She was trying to make up a lie at first to say why her shit was in the stolen car, rather than just saying she gave her phone to the niggas who did the murder. She was just like, oh, no, I wasn't in that car. No, I went to a burger spot in Walgreens and whatever. Okay, that's probably was it. All right, let's keep it going. By the way, let me just also read this. On or about May 23, law enforcement interviewed individual X. Individual X denied driving individual C to Walgreens and Jimmy Burgers and denied ever having been to Walgreens or Jimmy Burgers with individual C. According to individual X had only been in the car with individual C once on a different location. So essentially what happened is they caught the girlfriend. She's trying to lie for her nigga. So, when you fucking a little bitch, she gonna try to lie for you for 20 seconds before they say, yo, we're charging with murder. Then she tells the whole truth and nothing but the truth, okay? So she probably was like, so they probably brought her in and says, Shorty, you know this phone right here? And then she's like, what? Okay, we'll save you some time. We know it's your phone. What's your phone number? Same phone number, the phone. Okay. Why is your phone in this car? Now, the real answer is probably she gave it to one of the niggas to use, right? Or one of the niggas that was using her phone, but she made up a dumb lie. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, is that the Chrysler? No, I wasn't a Chrysler. Yeah, my other friend had driven me. I had to go get some nails and lashes. I went to Walgreens, and then they dropped me over there by the burger spot. We were hungry. And so who dropped you off? She don't want to say the killers. So she said some random name, individual X. Oh, it was Kiki. Kiki dropped me off. Yeah. Me and her, we were just riding around. It was like a girls' day type shit. Oh, word? They interviewed Kiki. Kiki said, I don't know that bitch, and I've never dropped her nowhere. I've been in her car with that hoe one time. She's lying. So now they know this chick is lying, right? Come on. Chat, by the way, I'm figuring this out on the fly. I didn't read this before. But just to let all y'all know, nothing I'm doing or saying is police work. It's having a little bit of brain. That's how I've gotten to get to the position I have. Dumb niggas, being dumb just doesn't help you in life. No matter how, what I do, y'all do know I'm a little bit smart, right? This isn't that hard to figure out. Okay. So Walgreens Asset Protection was able to conclude that the unknown female used a reward number of individual D. So go to Walmart and use your, they'll be like, yeah, do you have a phone number? Oh, yeah, I do have a phone number. You give somebody's phone. Oh, my God. A review of the page, Facebook page, I believe is individual C's Facebook, shows a picture of individual C and Montgomery. So, chat, Montgomery was fucking this girl. That's his bitch, right? But she's, she tried to act like she didn't know him. She's like, yeah, nah. Yeah, I don't know him that well. They'd be like, yo, do you know you know if he's like a criminal? I think I heard that he had caught a charge, but she was acting like she don't know the nigga. That's your nigga. You're fucking him. Stop it. You were driving around with him. Okay, Powell is shooter B. This is the other dude. Discussing more detail, I believe that Preston Powell is shooter B. According to this, the white plastic cup that had the words "Rise and Grind" written on it, it was recovered in the front seat of the Chrysler. Rise and grind and go kill a nigga. I get it. As depicted in the photo above, the plastic cup was in a cup holder closest to the front passenger seat of the Chrysler, where shooter B was located. According to the records and information provided by the Illinois State Police Lab, the fingerprints were identified on the plastic cup. Perfect. According to CHS1, Powell used the name JB Marley. Okay, so that's why the other guy was saying, Marley! Perfect. So, of course, your real name is Preston Powell, but your street name is Marley. And, of course, while on the drill, while y'all both are masked up, hoodied up, the other nigga, after y'all ran separate ways and he wants to get your attention, he shouts out your real name for all the ring cameras to hear. Marley! Perfect. It works. You know what I mean? These are brilliant criminals, chap. Okay. Which is the same name as shooter A yelled out minutes after the murder. According to the records that law enforcement reviewed from the AT&T subject phone 1, received 3 incoming calls from subject phone 3. Based on the telephone analysis and Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to skip past a little bit because I want to get to stuff. I know you're like, yo, this is a great story, but where's Durk going to come in? I got you. So, obviously says, subject 1 phone was left in a Chrysler, so there was no answer. According to records, law enforcement reviewed from Sprint and T-Mobile, you know what I mean? So one guy got AT&T, or the other one phone has AT&T, the other phone, subject 3 phone, is Sprint T-Mobile. It was registered to individual E, okay? None of these guys got phones in their names. Perfect. They probably thought they got away with it, didn't they? All right. So, okay, Powell got arrested on, which is the same address that listed when Powell got arrested. So somebody in his house, he's on their plan or he was using their phone. Okay, so Powell's using the phone from somebody in his house. Could be a relative or a girlfriend. Who knows? I believe these 3 calls were made from Powell to Montgomery in an attempt to find out where Montgomery was, since both of them had ran in separate locations or directions. Powell was unaware at the time that Montgomery left the phone in the car, clearly. According to the records, law enforcement review from AT&T, Powell activated a new account and was issued a cell phone number, blah, blah. 5 days after the murder, and he used his name for this new phone and used this address. Okay, the telephone number, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Anyway. Now we get to Durk. It says, Lil Durk released a new song called Aha after Mac was murdered. On or about February 22nd, 2022, Lil Durk released a song titled Aha. I believe the lyrics to the song can reasonably be interpreted to reference that Durk having people killed. For example, in one portion of Aha, my favorite song, Durk rapped, "We be sliding through they blocks and they don't know we have. Buddy ass got shot and we ain't claim it, but I could show his ass." Ooh, I love that line, man. That's my favorite line. Well, not my favorite line. Man, I ain't gonna lie, indictment music do hit hard. Free Durk, he ain't do nothing though. Okay, based on my training, experience, and knowledge of this investigation, I believe that these lyrics could be reasonably interpreted to be a reference to Mac's murder. After Mac got murdered, an unknown individual recorded YPC surveillance video of the murder on what appears to be a separate recording device, possibly a cell phone, and distributed the video to others. Ooh. So after Mac was murdered, someone recorded the YPC surveillance video of the murder and sent it to people. Means somebody got the video from the murder and was sending it around. Wow. Additional lyrics from the Aha music video state, "My brother D Thang just got killed and I've been slow since. But we got back on they ass. I bet they know this." That's a fact though. It's a fact. My boy don't be lying. And on bro, I'm speaking facts. This ain't no diss. Like, come on, bruh. Keep the police out my business. We don't post shit. Here we go. Keep the police out my business. We don't post shit. Trigger happy. I be with Zoo. I be on 450. I ain't gonna lie. This nigga be going crazy. Nah, Durk. You the GOAT, man. This is innocent shit, though. Real talk. Anyway, we got back on the ass. I bet they know this. So I believe this lyric is a reference to the paragraph above related to Mac's murder for the reasons stated further below in section 2 and section 2M and 2N. describing law enforcement's review of jail calls and social media posts. Here we go. Montgomery and Powell may have exchanged text messages concerning payment for Mac's murder using subject to his phone. And on or about February 19th, Montgomery was arrested by the Illinois State Police after fleeing in a stolen vehicle. According to records I reviewed from the New Lenox Police Department, Montgomery's phone was inventoried by the Illinois State Police when Montgomery was arrested. The phone recovered from Montgomery was a Apple iPhone 12 Pro with a telephone number this and IMEI number this. AT&T records for the phone revealed that the device was activated on the 2nd under individual C's AT&T account, which is the girlfriend of, we all know, Montgomery. So that's his girl, which is 6 days after Mac was killed. So what pretty much happened is the girlfriend, this is crazy. Like, this is some stupid shit. The girlfriend realized that AJ left the phone in the stolen car that did the murder, called to cancel. Yo, I think I lost my phone. Could y'all cancel it? They cancel it. And then 6 days later, she calls and get a new phone and gives it to the same nigga, which is her boyfriend, who did the killing. Perfect. On or about March 3rd, a detective from New Lenox Police Department applied for the search warrant of the phone. And on the same day, it was issued a search warrant. During the execution of the search warrant, law enforcement discovered a series of text messages between subject to phone and Powell 2 phone saved as contacts in subject to phone under Powell's nickname, Marley 2. The exchange of the messages that law enforcement discovered reads as this. Chat, check this out. I can't believe it. Durk, never hire these guys again, okay? If we're sliding, don't get me, but get somebody with a brain to hire the killers. So from Powell phone to subject to phone. What's up with OTF? That would be the last thing I want you to say after you just kill somebody for OTF. Yo, what's good with OTF? Hear the other person saying to Powell, which we believe is which we believe is so the person messaging Powell we believe is AJ. So we believe it's AJ and Powell or AJ and Marley. Okay. What's up with OTF? Nothing. So Powell then says, what do you mean? They not paying? Then AJ says to Marley, yo, we waiting. He comes up here on the 17th. Then Marley sends to AJ, yo, stand on that. Why you with Durk and them? And by the way, I'm guessing, so check the dates. So they're asking about payment on the 10th of February, right? You see the next message is on the 17th of February. I guess they didn't get paid. So one guy is mad and he's texting the other guy, yo, stand on it. Why are you with Durk? He's kind of asking, why are you with Durk? You get what I'm saying? And then he sends a follow-up message. Did Durk give you that money? Ain't no fucking way. Ain't. Chad. I know y'all didn't just say this shit. Look, chat, these messages, yo, chat, this is too crazy. What's up with OTF? This is the 10th. Nothing. What do you mean? They not paying? Then the other guy says, we waiting. He comes up here on the 17th. Exactly on the 17th. It says, yo, stand on that. Why you with Durk and them? Then it says, did Durk pay? Did Durk give you the bread? This is crazy, Chad. This exchange of messages began 14 days after Mac was murdered. Based on my training and experience and based on the investigation to date, I believe when user of Powell phone 2 asked the user of subject 2 what's up with OTF, the two are discussing Lil Durk and his affiliates. Based on my open source research and conversation with CH1, I know that Lil Durk's record label named OTF, commonly referred to as OTF, based on my review of social media posts and the music videos released by the members signed to Lil Durk's label. Including Lil Durk, I know that members of OTF commonly have tattoos or other paraphernalia displaying OTF. They show this. They show this. when the subject phone exchange says nothing, what you mean they're not paying the user of subject phone 2, indicating that they had not been paid for when the user of subject phone 2 wrote nothing, prompting the user of 2 to question whether there was an issue with them being paid for the murder. When the user of blah, blah, blah said, we wait, and he comes on the 17th, the subject of the user of subject phone 2, indicating that he was waiting for Durk to come in town on February 17th to pay them for having murdered Mac. When the user of said on the 17th, stand on that while you're not with Durk and him, the user of blah, blah says he was telling Durk, was telling the other guy to insist on getting paid when he saw Durk on the 17th. The next day, when the user of Powell phone 2 said, did Durk give you that money? So the next day they then said, yo, did Durk give you the money, bro? Just flat out. Did Durk give you the money? Now, we love Durk. And we know Durk wouldn't hurt a goddamn fly. So we're going to assume this is like money from like, maybe he bought some Jordans. Maybe he bought some, I don't know. Maybe he just bought some clothes. That's why that's why these guys are pressing Durk for the money. Clearly the cops think otherwise, but let's just think the best. Okay, let's hope for the best, chat. Maybe Durk was trying to buy some baby oil. Who knows? He was trying to do anything but not trying to pay for a murder. Okay? Did Durk give you that money? To the user of the other phone. The user of Powell's phone was asking if the subject phone, blah, 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 have gotten paid by Durk for the 2 having murdered Mac. Notably, I reviewed the Facebook page of the user with the public display name, blah, blah, blah. That's redacted. In February 22, and based on open source research, open source research means they Googled it. I know that Lil Durk was interviewed on so-and-so podcast on February 22. Who interviewed him? Who did Durk interview with in February 22? Lil Durk interview. No, it ain't me. It ain't me. It is not me. I'm trying to figure out who. When did I interview Durk? Lil Durk interview off the record. I interviewed. Yeah, see, I interviewed him in 2023. I interviewed him before All My Life and all that shit. Yeah. Who did he interview with in 2022? Do y'all know? It ain't me, nigga. Stop saying me. Oh, it's Gillian Wallow. It's Gillian Wallow. Gilly Wallow, Lil Durk interview.
For months, he said, you got to come.
Hey, at least Gillian Wallow could say, oh, it premiered then. Okay, it premiered in March, so he probably did it in February. At least Gillian Wallow could say the feds probably had a great old time watching this shit. There's a point where I think Wallow's giving some serious game, like, yo, bro, like he's giving some serious game, and Durk was like, word. Y'all remember this part? Gilly Wallow warns Durk. Here we go. This right here.
To keep going. Because I'm telling you, man, I can name 20, 30 niggas and my homies is dead. I'm here, though. And I'm going to say some shit that, like, this is documented. I got a TED Talk. I forgave my brother's killer. And I'm saying it to say this. Nigga that killed my brother. My brother died in my grandma's arms. In that fucking house that we grew up in. Nigga shot my brother. He ran to the house. He died in Nanny Harms when she opened the door. So I'm telling you this.
Yo, these niggas in the background was looking hella devious. They're like, bro, we don't know that experience. We kill niggas. The niggas in the background with all the ski masks and shiesties was like, yeah, that's cool and everything, Wallow, but we don't know that experience. We do the killing over here.
Real shit, man. If I ain't let that shit go, I won't be right here today. I won't be here for my niece and my nephews. Me and Gil won't be.
The irony of all of this, according to the Fed's timeline, Durk had allegedly already paid niggas to slide for his brother a month before. So Durk is like, maybe I could let it go now. I ain't gonna lie. It's much easier to let the beef go when you want, right? Yeah, them niggas dead now. Yeah, nah, you making sense, Wallow. Yeah, them niggas is dead now. Yeah. Okay, I'll get you, Wallow. Mm-hmm.
You doing this? Y'all want to know me? I want to be able to get y'all this game. But I had to leave. I had to let that shit go. And when I let that shit go, nigga, I started to grow. And I started to glow. And now I'm here today, and it was harder than a motherfucker, man. And I'm talking about this my big brother, nigga. I shared the cell with him. I shared the bed with him when we was fucking kids. This little Steve. But I can tell you one thing. Now I'm out.
Look at Durk. Durk was like, man, I don't got them problems. The niggas who try to kill my niggas, them niggas is 10 feet deep.
Out here taking care of his daughter, paying for her to go to school, taking care of my nephew, taking care of my mama and my grandmama.
Talk to him. Sure.
For sure.
Because I forgave my brother Killer, but you know, I understand. I understand what y'all going.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. With all due respect, did anybody think that Durk was gonna forgive anybody? Yo, Durk's like, yeah, I stopped dissing FBG now that he's dead. I stopped dissing FBG Duck now that he's dead. Like, Durk wasn't like forgiving niggas. The fuck?
Going through. But I love all you young niggas in here.
Now, I'm also saying this to call out the hypocrisy of fans. Because y'all be calling niggas who be forgiving people pussy. It appears that Durk stood on everything y'all niggas was saying, nigga. If this is true, we don't think it's true. I think Durk's an innocent guy.
Mean that shit. I love you niggas, man. And I hope y'all make it out. I hope y'all make it the fuck out.
Yo, look at this nigga's face back here. Like, yo, is this nigga crying? Look at his face right here.
I love you niggas, man. And I hope y'all make it out. I hope y'all make it the fuck out, man.
Yeah, he look like, y'all hear this nigga? Yo, we trying to kill the ops. Yo, niggas gonna die over this shit.
And he like
straight up, man.
It's so crazy. And this motherfucker really dropping tears for this shit. Like,
you can tell Durk was, yo, Durk with his homies. Durk couldn't be like, oh man, like have an emotional moment. Durk had to look at his homie like, damn, this nigga really over crying over here. He over here sobbing. This nigga sobbing over here. Yo, Durk is cold.
Like,
straight up, man.
It's so crazy. And this motherfucker really dropping tears for this shit. Like, shit for real. Like,
I love being around the young niggas because, like, you don't understand. Y'all niggas got so much life. And y'all probably don't understand because y'all young. But this system and the way this structure is so scared of y'all because they saying if these niggas ever turn that light cut on in their head, we in trouble because they the most fearless motherfuckers that ever walked the planet Earth. These young black brothers in the ghetto don't fear nothing. So when you switch that shit and you do an energy transfer, oh, it's over. Y'all nigga ever wake up, it's over, man. Watch. I'm telling you, niggas gonna wake up. This gonna happen.
and see, for Wallow, right? He always talked to me and he like, cuz you just don't understand how many young niggas I used to see come through that motherfucking jail, man.
All right, man. All right. Okay, so that happens. I bet. Okay, so Durk does the podcast. He does $1 million worth of game in February, right? And it says I know that Durk was interviewed on $1 million worth of game podcast in February 2022. On February 18th, a user of a Facebook page with a display name so-and-so made a post claiming to have been in the interview with Durk. The post appears to be made after a video was shot. And in the post, the user of the Facebook page with display name so-and-so wrote, among other things, OTF. Based on my review of the music video for Aha, the video appears to be filmed in Chicago. And according to CHS1, the Facebook page with belongs to whatever. Chat, so this is the same. I think this is Gilly. This is Wallow. And right here's Durk. Wow. Subject for phone on May 5th, 2022. Former employees of blah, blah, were interviewed where they said that they recalled 2 participants. Okay, we want to just get to the good stuff because this is treacherous. Okay. However, in later interview, identified co-conspirator B in a dash cam, blah, blah, and they interviewed approximately 3 participants, Employee 1 said to law enforcement that she had heard that after Mac was murdered, there was anywhere from $50,000 to $500,000 being offered for someone to kill Mac. Employee 1 told law enforcement that YPC keeps daily sign-in sheet. According to the sign-in sheet, co-conspirator A and B arrived there. So they think that the people who set this into motion arrived to this place. They probably knew he was going to be there. And then when the dude got there, They called somebody else to show up, and they left. And then those people did the killing, probably, right? According to YPC, the co-conspirators' number is Okay, according to the filings, there was outgoing calls from all of these things. Start walking to the parking lot. All right. Yeah, this is spelling it all out. They researched the phone number and determined that it was registered to. Okay, all right. Social media posts. On or about February 20th, I reviewed publicly available postings of this on Facebook account. Damn, they haven't got a nigga shit. Facebook account. Hey, all right, here we go. Is it this? Hold on. Okay. Oh, all right. Is it this? Okay. My boy studied at Harvard. Seemed like a smart guy. The hell? All right. Anyway. And I'm basing a comparison of the pictures to Montgomery on CPD records. I believe most of the pictures on the profile depicted Montgomery. He updated his Facebook story with a picture of him holding money. Ooh, so they're going to think this is the money that got paid. And the Lil Durk song, Aha, playing in the background. The Facebook story was captured by law enforcement, and the picture of the post is below. Where we be sliding through the blocks and they don't know we have. Based on my experience investigating violent crimes and their links to social media, I believe Montgomery made the above Facebook post to brag and take credit for Mac's murder. And I believe that based on my training that Mac is playing Lil Durk's music and holding a large amount of cash to brag about the fact he was paid by Lil Durk to kill Mac. Now, there was a jail call review. So through this investigation, law enforcement officers have been monitoring jail calls in Montgomery and Individual 1. Individual that law enforcement believes is an associate of Montgomery based on They have made 12 calls from Cook County Jail to the subject. Okay, cool. And I'm trying to see if, all right. On or about April 5th, 2022, I received recordings of phone calls that Individual 1 made while detained at Cook County Jail during a call made by Individual 1 from Cook County to a known individual on February 1st. Individual 1 stated to the unknown individual in the summary, Individual 1 heard Lil Durk said, "That's for D Thang." Wow. Individual 1 said, he woofing like Tay-Town, and if that's for D Thang, then check in, bitch. That shit ain't free. Holy! Nah, Durk, your shooters was about to get on your head, Durk. They said Durk was like woofing like Tay-Town did it. Because remember, I told y'all, Durk, D Thang, dog pound or whatever. Then they get to like Lamron OTF, right? And then after that, Durk started fucking with the Tay-Town dudes. So I guess people are saying, yo, they thought it was the Tay-Town dudes who killed the dude for at Slid and for D Thang. But these guys, they were like, what the fuck? Yo, wait, is Durk woofing out there acting like Tay-Town did this? Which obviously, if let's say Durk did do it, you want to throw the scent off. Like, nah, shout out to my killers right here. When the killer's over there, you know what I'm saying? Based on my experience listening to jail calls that they relate to violent crimes, I believe Individual 1 is referring to Mac homicide. Individual 1 is saying if Mac was killed for D Thang, then Lil Durk needs to pay up because it wasn't done for free. During a call with unknown individual, blah, 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 they said they need to create a song and add Snowman to it. Individual 1 went on to state that they caught his dumbass in the snow. Now his dumbass stretched. So if you look back at the surveillance footage, we go back up. This was during winter. We know how it gets cold in the Windy City, right? Based on my training experience and knowledge of this investigation today, I believe Individual 1's comment about Snowman and having caught someone in the snow relates to Mac's murder. The crime scene photos from Mac's murder show Mac was murdered in the snow with his body in the supine position. What the fuck is that? Supine position. Oh, line horizontally with your face and torso facing up. Oh, okay. So supine is okay. So he died like this. Oh wow. That information was never released to the public. So, so they're saying these guys are bragging about an incident of or a particular detail of the murder that never got released to the public. Now, in fairness, somebody who was, people be recording dead bodies at this point. Somebody could have passed that info on and they could have had it, but still the feds are using this to say they know something that we didn't release. It gives further proof that they probably did it, right? This jail call is important because it indicates that individual one spoke to someone with firsthand knowledge of the crime scene. Okay, now this is about this guy being a criminal, and then them searching cell site stuff. I just want to see if there's anything more on Durk, then we're gonna skedaddle out of this one. Okay, bet. Yeah. And the agent is Thomas J. Callaghan. Thomas Callaghan, FBI. Is this him? I don't look like him. Should be a special agent. Thomas J. It's probably this guy. No, what the fuck? FBI. Maybe this is him. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? All right. All right, people. So that's the latest update. They basically got Durk entangled in this. He hasn't been officially charged. All that came out is that they unsealed this search warrant, and they're referring to the search warrant to show that Durk is being investigated and probably will be charged for murder for hire for another murder. He hasn't been officially charged yet. So that's interesting. And it all culminates to here where he's saying we request that y'all release him. And of course, you have the magistrate, or not magistrate, the U.S. government saying don't release him. Okay. There's a little bit more here. At bottom, defendants' proposed bail packages, resource don't mitigate his danger to the community, and sufficiently reduces risks of flight. His funding or orchestration of the murder conspiracy shows that his proposed bail package are woefully inadequate to mitigate the danger he poses. Although it proposes he surrender his passport and location monitor curfew and intense pretrial supervision, any such limitations would all suffer from the critical flaw in that they depend on the defendant's good faith compliance in order to be effective. In particular, electronic monitoring does not prevent a defendant from committing crimes within the monitoring radius. And there's no reasonable way to assure that a defendant would not make impermissible stops or detours on his way to places permitted under the restriction. Moreover, the defendant has already shown that he cannot abide by even the simplest of conditions imposed on him while he's already in the custody at the MDC, despite clear instructions not to engage in three-way calls. Defendant has repeatedly abused the phone system at MDC. This is going to sound like it's the Diddy case. It's not. Such conduct. His actions in a already restrictive condition of confinement shows that there's a potential risk that he cannot abide by the bond condition of his own accord. Yeah. Which means that they're using this phone call and probably others, right? Durk, phone call from jail. This was probably a three-way call right here.
Everything was his.
Yeah. I feel got to the same. I came up here like, shit, where you from? What you got going? I'll get to it, yeah.
Man, what? Fuck a PC. Hey.
thought they thought a computer, you hear me? He thought a computer. He serious as hell, man. Fucking that shit.
Hey, I respect your mom forever. Fuck a PC.
You know, a lot of them niggas be going straight to PC. Yeah. Downstairs, they be like, man, you know you, man, send me upstairs. Whatever it is, I got to adapt to it. Nah, for sure. Can't go no more for
Yo, it's interesting to even listen to this call because, yo, you could tell Durk, no matter being up $50 million, yo, Durk's on the phone with two niggas and he's trying to impress them still. Like, yo, bro, yeah, they got me here for this murder shit. You know, man, you know, these niggas just trying to put me on some PC nigga like I'm pussy. Like, what the fuck? Like, nah, and the nigga said, PC? What? Like, yo, bro, I told him this nigga, send me upstate, nigga. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I'm not getting on no piece. Like, Durk is still communicating to these niggas like, yo, bro, I'm like that. I'm real. Now, I'm not, of course, I believe that he is, but it's like, I'm going to be honest with you, like, I don't even think this would be a conversation you want to have at this point, given what you're facing. Like, trying to justify to the guys or trying to tell them that, yo, they trying to put me in PC, but I ain't going. Who the fuck cares? Like, right now, you need to figure out how to beat this and come back home to your family. You joking with the guys about, yeah, they think like, yo, wait, hold on. I don't know what type of nigga they think I am trying to put me in PC. Like, what the fuck? I told niggas send me upstate. What's up? Not like, that might give you a little bit of mindset about, and again, you're going to criticize it, but Durk grew up in this. Durk's father was in jail. Durk grew up around people dying around him. Durk grew up around his brotherhood. A lot of it came from being in a gang, right? This is his validation. His validation ain't these bitch-ass rappers who never been through nothing. It's a reason why every time you seen Durk around any other rapper, he was punking them. Like, none of these rappers was doing anything that he was into. So, like, I could imagine he's not looking for their validation, right? Like, these rappers, they never did nothing. Like, Durk was actually doing it. So, like, he probably cared about validations mostly from the street niggas who, he probably would be like, yo, damn, I'm his shorty or whatever. I don't want that nigga to be like, man, yeah, Durk finally got in some real trouble. That nigga pussy, though. Like, he just went and locked down. My Jamaican accent. He went and got locked down. He stopped talking to all the guys. He stopped fucking with us. He not getting on the phone with us no more. He's sad. He might do some crazy shit. Like, nah, he's still on the phone with the guys. He's still, yo, yeah, we chilling, bro. We good. Like, laughing with him, everything. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure he's not happy about his incarceration, but it shows you that if you're going to think about validation, this validation is coming from that. Which, by the way, this was like super important. And I watched this and I actually believe this a lot. I